Okay, before this video, my name is All Fun and Games, and I stream every day on Twitch TV, and I also make fun little videos here on YouTube. What you're about to see here is a ton of juicy information. If you don't really know anything about the forums, or you're not really familiar with the Clay forums, well, you might want to check it out. Every now and then, I search around for any comments that Joe has posted on the forums, because Joe is one of the best people from Clay. I mean, they're all awesome, all of Clay, but I always follow whatever Joe kind of like posts, because he's always posting little bits of information that you might not actually know about. And sometimes he says something and says, and you're like, wait, what? And so, you know, you kind of, for me, I just follow him around on there and I go, okay, cool. Like today he's talking about this. And this was something that I saw the other day that I have to discuss, and I want to know your opinion because this is huge. The topic was basically talked about, you know, how they were hoping for, people were basically looking for more content on, and why Clay hasn't talked about it a lot. And of course, you know, Joe came back and basically said, look, you know, it's a busy time of the year, which it is. I mean, it's right after Christmas. Like, what more can you expect? You know, we're kind of back in the, especially Canada is back in the prime of, was back in the prime of COVID and all that stuff. So, you know, there's a lot to kind of take in. And then, of course, they just got done doing their collab with the creators of Terraria. So there's just a lot going on. And so Joe basically is responding to this. So we'll read through it real quick. I think maybe the concerns in this thread are addressed in the roadmap, which basically I talked about in the previous video, where the roadmap addresses 2022. I acknowledge that we want to change things up a bit, but right now we have the obligation to finish our current schedule, and there is no way we could possibly do it any faster or any larger than we already have. And I mean, this is all due respect, but I don't know any of the games out there that put out as much for their players as we do. Our team is working their asses off to get it out to everybody as fast as possible. And this is entirely true. So what other game have you really seen where they're just pushing they're pushing updates every other week? Now, when it comes to Clay, I always find that comparing them to other games is kind of tough, right? Because games that, you know, for example, like the last time we've seen a Stardew Valley update, let's just talk about Stardew Valley. There was just a massive amount of an update. Now, the thing is that before that, there wasn't really an update for Stardew Valley for a very long time. Minecraft, they always adjust their updates, you know, every, let's just say 6 months or something like that. And those are updates that come in, of course, a ton of information and a ton of different things get added. And Clay gives us to us basically every month. So usually every once a month, we have something new that gets added into the game. In my opinion, I like that. And I think because we get so much from that, it almost makes us feel like, you know, we just want more and more and more and more, and you can't put it out fast enough. And I think that's kind of like the culture that we live in. Like, even myself, sometimes I sit there going like, oh, I can't wait for the next update. But then I realize, and I take a step back and I say, look, you know what? Clay is true. Like, they're the only company that I know of that releases this much of, you know, to their game every month, a month and a half, or whatever they do. And for that matter, it's just kind of unheard of in any other game. So I can definitely see where Joe's coming from that. We have never made a priority to communicate too heavily about the game on the forums or in a promo material, because we've generally felt like those resources are better spent on the game rather than the hype. So we want to communicate through our updates and check in from time to time if we do address. So basically what they're saying here is that they understand that some people have concerns about certain things, but they basically want to focus on feedback on the game, because everybody obviously has their opinions about every little thing and every little detail that Clay adds to Don't Starve Together. What some of you are feeling right now happens every year, just after the holidays, as I already talked about, busy cycle, blah, 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 blah. As noted in the last update 3 weeks ago, we have, and of course that's in, you know, that's basically, you know, altered because he's commenting the fact that just 3 weeks ago there was an update. We have beta coming very soon, which I will be posting about next week, which we already know about in the previous video that I commented, which is going to need a lot of testing. We have a whole series of things we have to get through before we can get on the next, before we get on the next B phase for the game. I'm not the next phase. I guess that's probably what's in there. The next phase for the game. But for now, as noticed in the roadmap, we're going to keep on doing what we do. How we've been doing it till roughly March of next year. That is where I come in here and I am like going nutso, okay? Let's just comment on what that March of next year means, okay? This is a huge, just little information. March of next year. What happens on March of next year? Now, there's a ton of things that come into my mind, okay? basically on the roadmap, they quoted 2023 is the year of the, or whatever. They're basically the year of the blank. So I don't know what they're hinting at, or what he's hinting at of March of next year. But in this case, this is going to be huge. Now, what do you think it's going to be? You tell me down below in the comments. I'm going to tell you right now what I think it potentially could be. Okay. One thing. Could it be an expansion to Don't Starve Together? Potentially. Could it be Don't Starve Together DLC? Maybe. Could it be Don't Starve Together 2? I don't know. I don't know if that's their direction. I've been kind of like asking around what people believe, and everyone's kind of thinking that it's going to be some huge add-on. I'm not too sure. Like at this point in time, I mean, until the March of next year, what does that mean? So they're basically saying that these updates are going to roll out the way that they're rolling out until March of next year. Until March of next year, what? Then they're going to add more updates like consistently, or is that it? Is that when they stop and now they work on whatever else they're talking about? And it sounds to me like they're leading a ton of hype, because if you look at the roadmap basically explains the same situation that we're talking about right now. So, like, we just don't know. We just don't know what to expect, because it says basically year of the Cocoon plus 2023, year of the blank event. So is it an event? I'm not too sure. 4 character refreshes ending in Q1 of 2023, 3 quality of life updates, more Carnival games and prizes, 3 setting the stage content updates. Setting the stage? That's interesting. So I don't know like what that's all about. But anyways, getting back to this March of next year, I don't know what their plans are. I don't know what they're doing, but it's definitely going to be huge. And who's to say what it could be? In my personal opinion, I think we're set to see some sort of huge either DLC get added into Don't Starve Together, which I know that Clay has already came out and said, I think back in the day when they were looking at it, they weren't too big on DLCs, and everybody always says, which I think DLCs are awesome. I think Don't Starve Together deserves a DLC because it could be huge. It could get a ton more people hyped about Don't Starve Together again. All those people that might say, you know what, I've done everything in DST that there is to. Well, now all those people are coming back. If they do come out with Don't Starve Together 2, not saying they're going to, because I know everyone says Don't Starve Together 2. Why would they do that? That would mean a whole new game that they can program around, a whole new game that now they've worked so hard on to make run better and fuel that fire out of all the people that have already played Don't Starve Together, that now they're playing Don't Starve Together too. Who knows? Different graphics, although the graphics in DST are amazing. It just could be interesting. Who knows what it's going to be, but make sure that you stay tuned, because 2023 sounds like it's going to be the year for Clay for Don't Starve Together. And I don't know. I don't know what to expect. Tell me what you think. Let me know in the comments. I will see you guys in the next video, but I'm pretty hyped about this.